Now, your parkings are the foundation of everything in Spaces, and right from the overview page, you can see a summary of all your parking operations, whether it is the parking that is currently live or the occupancy rates across all your parking spaces. You can choose to add a new parking through the overview page, or you can simply navigate to the parkings view through the sidebar. Now in this view, you're going to see a summary of all the parking that is associated with your account. So whether that is parking that you own or parking that you've been given access to manage. At a glance, you can see the key details that are associated with every parking. So the address, the status, the spaces, and the occupancy per space. You can see the pricing details, the mode, the ratings, and the automation details. Now, it is important to note that a parking could have different statuses. So an active parking simply means that this parking is approved and that it is available for drivers to park on through the Parksby app. A parking that is pending approval is a parking that is awaiting review by the Parksby team after you have submitted it. That process always usually takes less than 24 hours, but it could take more depending on the specific circumstances. And inactive parking simply means that the parking has been temporarily made unavailable to drivers by the owner of the parking. So I could come right here and I could choose to activate this parking, and you can see that instantly the parking becomes active on the platform. To view the details of a specific parking, you simply click on view and you can see a summary of everything associated with the parking. So you can see that it is approved and it is active. It is a postpaid parking and the pricing details are scaled. So you can see the description of the specific parking. You can see the vehicle types that are allowed on the parking. You can see the specific amenities that are available on that parking. For this specific parking, you can see that it is available 24/7 from Monday through Sunday. You can also see that the pricing details is that this is a scaled parking. So this basically lets the user know that if you stay on this parking for the first 30 minutes, it's going to cost you 40 Kenyan shillings. If you stay up to 40 minutes, it's going to cost you 250 shillings with these two in between. And that every hour after the 240-minute mark is going to cost you an additional 50 shillings. You can view the location of the specific parking and the integration details if you have added them, and the payout methods, more on all of that later, and also the parking spaces on the parking photos that are associated with your parking. Now, to edit a parking is simple. You simply click on edit and you're going to see this side panel, this sidebar open, and here you can edit the details associated with any particular parking space. We are going to go through each and every single one of these as we add a parking. So to add a parking is also simple. You simply come to the add parking button that is there, and here you will be required to fill in the details of the specific parking. So you're going to put in the address of the parking, and this is what users are going to see when they view your parking through the Parksby platform. So you're going to have an option to pick the location. So you can either come and search for a specific location, or you can simply move this pin to the desired location and you can use that specific location. If your parking is within a building, then you can enter in the name of the building and the floor in which it is in. You can give a brief description of your parking. The better the description, the better. You're going to tell us what number of spaces are available on your parking, whether the parking is outdoor, indoor, and the specific vehicle types that are allowed into your parking space. You will be required to add parking photos into to add the photos of your specific parking. The first photo will be the cover photo that will be shown to users when they first open the parking. Here you can be able to select the currency associated with your parking. So this is Kenyan shillings, but you have a selection of currencies that you can choose from, and you're going to be able to set the availability. So just basically letting us know which days and hours that your parking is available. So you can either go with weekdays as a default, which is going to pick the default business hours, maybe from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. depending on the occasion. You can also choose to adjust this individually depending on your specific circumstance. You can decide that it is available every day, either from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., or you can decide that it is available 24/7. The pricing type, this basically lets users know how you are going to bill to be billing them for the time they spend at your parking. So you can choose a flat rate, which basically lets them know that you're going to pay X amount, irrespective of the amount of time you spend on the parking. You can choose a per hour pricing, which is going to let them know that you're going to be charged maybe 40 shillings for every hour you spend. You can decide that your parking has a weekly subscription, where users are going to pay per week for your parking, or maybe per month, or a scaled parking. A scaled parking is what we saw earlier, where you decide that, for example, the first 30 minutes is going to cost them 100 shillings, up to 120 minutes, which is 2 hours, is going to cost them 200 shillings, and every additional hour after that is going to cost them 50 shillings. So you can choose to add every tires, as you can choose to add more tires as your parking requires. And on the payment mode, you can choose either a prepaid parking, which basically means that the users pay before they park, or postpaid, which basically means that they pay after they are done parking. On the amenities, you can notify users of which amenities are available on your parking. So for example, if it has an electric vehicle charging station, or if it has CCTV cameras, or even if it has your a different amenity that is not included here. For example, we can come and add a valet service is available. We can come and add that security is available, just to notify the users of what your parking offers. Now, the hardware automation and integration is a more advanced integration into your parking. You can choose to skip it all together as you're adding your parking and then return to it later, or you can just go ahead and fill it in if you understand what it is you're doing. The webhooks. So Parksby allows you to set up a webhook for your specific integration. What this basically does is that you give us an endpoint and you let us know that if any of these events happen on my parking, then you notify me on that endpoint. So whether it is booking being created, payment being received, booking expired, or etc. More details on this are on the developer documentation that are on our website. You're going to be shown a signing secret, which will be shown to you only once, so make sure to store it carefully, but you can also regenerate it should you ever lose it, or should you ever suspect that it is compromised. So with that, you can simply go and you can create the parking, and immediately the parking is created, you can see that the parking will be in a pending approval state. Yeah, and after that, the Parksby team will approve, and you should get a notification once your parking is approved. So that is all for now. See you in the next tutorial.